Breaking news that's coming in. India finally avenges the Pahalgam terror attack. Top 3 Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists who carried out the Pahalgam terrorist strike have been neutralized, and it's now confirmed. Suleiman, aka Moosa Fauji, that former Pakistan SSG commando, has been gunned down. Moosa was the top Pahalgam perpetrator. He's been killed. Remember those 3 Pakistani terrorists who singled out Hindus, asked them their names, their identity, asked them to recite the kalma, and if they could not, they were shot dead at point blank range. Now these 3 terrorists have been killed in the Dachigam forest area near Srinagar. All 3 are now confirmed dead. It's now been confirmed that India has killed Suleiman alias Moosa Fauji and the other 2 Pakistani terrorists who were involved in the Pahalgam terror attack. Now, for the past 15 days and counting, the security forces had been able to trap them. They had been able to ensure that they were confined from multiple locations. The Indian Army, the Central Reserve Police Force, and most important, the Jammu and Kashmir Police and the SOG, or the Special Operations Group, they'd mounted a multi-pronged offensive, and the area of operation for these terrorists, it kept shrinking, and they were then trapped. Both human intelligence and signal intelligence were used, electronic intelligence were used to ensure that these 3 terrorists were isolated and then neutralized early this morning. The contact initially had been established sometime back, but a confirmed contact took place earlier today, where the security forces brought in additional reinforcements. Drones, unmanned aerial vehicles were used to pinpoint their location. Now this Dachigam forest is so dense. It's a 3-tier forest, not very far from the Badami Bagh cantonment. That's the Chinar Corps headquarters. Now, if you start moving from the Chinar Corps headquarters towards Sonamarg, in between, this is where these terrorists were holed up. Some of these areas, not even sunlight is able to penetrate through the thick foliage. That's how dense this forest is. When you look at those images there, we have images of all the 3 terrorists, and one has been killed where a heavier caliber weapon was fired not very far, it seems, from his head, because a part of his head is also blown away and blown off. The other 2 terrorists, one shot perhaps while he was trying to escape. Weapons have been recovered. An M4 rifle has been recovered. AK series assault rifles have been recovered. Some warlike stores, including a large number of grenades, were also recovered. And these terrorists were hiding under a tarpaulin, a temporary tarpaulin, kind of a green-colored tarpaulin that was set up, a camouflage net. Why? Because the army was using drones, including infrared drones last night. From what sources are telling India today, they were trying to pinpoint the area where these terrorists could be hiding, and once they were located, so you had the special forces already operating in that area. This is again information that's coming in only through sources just as yet. Once they were identified, they were pinpointed in that location, surrounded from all sides. There was a fierce gunfight which lasted a long time, and these 3 terrorists were neutralized. Now the 2 images that you see on your television screen, the April 22 Pahalgam, that Baisaran forest area, heartbreaking images, heartbreaking. Each time you see these images, all these tourists, they'd walked up and they'd reached what is known as the Switzerland of India. Beautiful meadows after walking almost an hour from the roadhead. And they were enjoying a cup of tea, Maggie, looking at the beautiful green meadows and the trees all around. And that is where the terrorists came down. They singled out Hindus in this crowd, asked them their names, asked them to recite the kalma. If they couldn't, they were shot dead at point blank range. And I spoke to Aishanya Dwivedi, the widow of Shubham Dwivedi. He was amongst the first to be killed. When he was asked, what's your name, what's your religion, he very proudly said, I'm Hindu. And he was shot dead at point blank range. When the widows walked up to these terrorists and said, kill us too, they said, no, jao, Modi ko batao what we've done. Ever since, an effort was made to identify these terrorists and to locate them. Drone-mounted surveillance almost immediately was mounted. Sometimes, in fact, earlier last month, security forces were almost confident that they were close to getting these terrorists, but they managed to escape.